This conference will now be recorded.
Here we are discussing about the Grahani Chikitsa Adhyay, that is the chapter number 15 from Charaka Chikitsa Sthana. And yesterday we all have gone through the details or pathophysiological factors responsible for the Grahani disease. Okay, and the same time we have discussed that to consider or to go in detail with the pathophysiological factors is not necessary only for this Grahani dosha, but it is important about the every disease. Okay, so we will go for now the next slides of our lecture, that is the Grahani dosha. Okay, so the Grahani dosha is nothing but Grahani vikara, and we can compare or it can be comparable with the irritable bowel syndrome, which is discussed in allopathy science. So Grahani, we know the Grahani, Grahanat Grahani Mataha, that is the organ which takes, that is the word to word meaning. Now, when Grahani dosha occurs, if an individual indulges in food without following the rules and regulation of diet, then the person indulge in it. As well, that person vitiates his or her grahani because of the greedy habits. Now, such disease are being described henceforth. Okay, so the main reason is described here the indulgence in food without considering self agni or the prakriti, etc. Okay, so one by one we will give. Now the Charaka Samhita has described the causes of vitiation of agni, and very detailed he has given the list that the causes of vitiation of agni: abhojanat, ajirnat, atibhojanat, vishamashanat, etc. Now that is excessive starvation, indulging in food intake although there is indigestion, overeating, irregular habit of eating, eating unwholesome food. Unwholesome food means vishamashan, indulging in food which is heavy to digest or having high nutritional values, food which is having cold qualities, that is shita ahar, or eating chilled or frozen items. Okay, many people do have dependent on the frozen vegetables, especially in the Western countries. I'm not talking about the India, but India now we also are using like frozen things like frozen, what it's called, green peas, brings about emaciation. Now this food which is dry in nature or food which is brings about emaciation, contaminated food, that is also the responsible. Now the next list is perversion of procedures like vamana, means vaman vyapat, or not following the classical procedures prescribed for vaman, virechan and sneha, that is the snehapan. Emaciation of body due to disease, sudden migration to unsuitable place and of a time and of season, separation of natural urges are the causes of vitiation of agni. So the first list which we have discussed was aharaja hetu, this slide, and next one is little bit about viharaja, means not following even the panchakarma procedures properly, as well as the person's sudden migration, separation of natural urges. Okay, so thus vitiated agni is unable to digest the food which is even though light by properties for digestion. This vitiated digestive agent forms an intermediate substance that is called ama, and we know that amadosham mahagoram varje vishasaudnakam. This ama turns sour. In classics, it is called Shukta during fermentation, and finally turns in poisonous substance. So Ama is a previous stage, we can say, and then it turns to Amavisha by fermentation process. Okay, and this happens only in the body. So first of all, this is the primary, we can stage, Ajirana, for Grahani dosha, that is indigestion. So we'll see how it happens. Poisonous substance, that is the Amavisha, manifest clinical features: flatulence, uncomfortable physical and mental miseries, headache, altered consciousness, giddiness, stiffness of back and lumbar region, yawning, body ache, malaise, morbid thirst, fever, vomiting, then tenesmus. Tenesmus is a kind of pain in the abdomen, anorexia, and indigestion. As well, similar to antigenic poison, these all symptoms are. So these ajirna symptoms, if we not treat it timely, it will turn into the next stage, that is the Grahani. Now see, Amavisha is the first stage, formation of this. Okay, then Amavisha produces ajirna. Now ajirna, again we have to classify if that Amavisha or Annavisha is associated with pitta, associated with kapha, and associated with vata. Accordingly, we have to observe or note those signs and symptoms. So if that Annavisha or Amavisha is associated with pitta, then it causes daha, morbid thirst, oral disease, especially amla pitta, and various kind of pitta disorders. Okay, then if that associated Annavisha associated with kapha, then there is a possibility of yakshma. And Raja Yakshma we are going to see in our next lectures. Then penis and prameha and various other kapha disorders. If it is associated with vata, then now the list is not given because it may be a long list. That's why it is in short mentioned by the classes that vatika disease are caused. So Annavisha, when enters in the renal system, what will happen? See, not only associated with kapha, pitta, and vata, now it enters into the renal system, especially we can say mutra vahasrotas. So urine related disorders mainly occurs. And then Kukshigata Roga means the abdomen related diseases, and especially the origin when the feces or the shakrut, that is Purishamala, is inward. So this will happen because the Ayurveda has described that the renal system or mutra vahasrotas or mutra nirmiti prakriya, formation of urine, the kidneys are only doing the filtration, but that Sarakitta Vibhajan process and Sthulamala and Dravamala, this process takes place into the Pakvashaya. That means the large intestine or the colons. And that's why the Basti treatment is useful to cure the renal or kidney disorders or KUB diseases, kidney ureter bladder diseases. So this is Ayurveda's own physiology. Okay, that's why here the even though the word is renal system, it is described with the Pakvasha or related with the colons or Purishamala. Now, if that Annavisha is in the Rasadi Srotas, what will happen? Rasa Pradoshaja Vikara will happen. That is tissue related elements. Now, where these Rasa Pradoshaja or Dhatu Pradoshaja Vikaras are described, diseases are described in Charaka Samhita. So, especially Charak Sutrasthan, chapter number 26. Now, effects of Vishamagni. So, Vishamagni is irregular Agni, Tikshnagni is excessive Agni. Now, Samagni is the proper one, which is supposed to be healthy one. But these are the two abnormal Agnis that we have to consider here. So, Vishamagni is improper Agni or irregular Agni. Sometimes it is very, we can say, strong, and sometimes very weak. That is the Vishamagni. Okay, so irregularity in digestion, and therefore defective formation of dhatu takes place. So Vishamagni is again abnormal. And Tikshnagni, that is the excessive agni, that is the more one or the strong one. Okay, like Bhasmak disease. So when associated with little quantity of fuel, it causes the depletion of the tissue material, that is the dhatus, sapta dhatus. Means if the food material is not available, the Tikshna Agni will start to digest the dhatus also. And the Samagni. So Samagni is the healthy one, or the normal state, or the healthy state of the Agni. So in balanced condition and correct diet regimen. Now, which is the correct diet regimen? Especially, I have mentioned here that the Charak Sutrasthan 5th chapter and Charak Vimansan 1st chapter, especially 21 number verse, they are describing about the correct diet regimen. Even though Ashtavahara Vidhi Visheshayatanani are important. Okay, so not only the what diet, but how to take that diet, that is also important. Then there is a proper digestion of food, which helps in maintaining proper balance within the dhatus. Okay. Now, what is Durbala Agni? Okay, so different Agni we are studying here. The first we have seen Vishamagni, then Tikshnagni, then Samagni, and now 51 verse, that is the Durbala Agni, that is the weak digestive power. Now Durbala, that is the weak Agni, brings about the partial digestion of the food. So the verse is here, Durbalo vidhati annam tadya urdhvam adho apiva. This partially digested biosubstance, we cannot say now it is the food or it is the ahara rasa. So it is something in between. Then it enters into the circulation, which may move either upward direction or downward direction. So anything is possible, and accordingly where it moves, it will produce abnormality in that particular area where it is spread. Now here we start about the Grahani Gada or the Grahani Dosha. Gada is the synonym for the disease. Okay, Dosha is the synonym for the disease. So we are here discussing about the problems or the abnormalities of the Grahani. When partially digested or partially undigested biosubstance moves downward in the gastrointestinal tract, then it produces a disorder called Grahani Gada. You now how the flow of the chapter is maintained by Charaka Samhita. See, they have described about in previous slide. Just now we have seen that the Durbala Agni is the main cause. Okay. Now Durbala Agni performs or transforms the food material into the partially or incomplete digestive material. And that incomplete digested material may move upward or downward. Okay, now this process definitely will be in the stomach, what we call in modern anatomy. Now from that modern, by view of modern anatomy, from stomach, if it will go down, that is the duodenum and the small intestines, that is the Grahani, then it will get problematic with that particular organ. Okay, so when partially digested and partially undigested biosubstance moves downwards in gastrointestinal tract, it produces a disorder known as Grahani Gada. Sometimes it is called Grahani Dosha, okay, or only Grahani. Now this is the nomenclature method of Ayurveda, that the Grahani, that the organ abnormality is more here, and that's why the name of the disease is given as per the organ name. In this particular stage, the entire food material remains in the state of vidagdha state, that is the partially transformed and specially sour, that is the amla. Okay, so this is the thing here, amla, or we can say shukta. Okay. Now, adastu pakvam amam va pravrutam grahani gadaha उच्यते सर्वम एव अन्नम प्रायो हि अस्य विदह्यते अतिसृष्टम विबद्धम वा द्रवम तद उपदिश्यते तृष्णा अरोचक वैरस्य प्रसेक तमकान्विताः शूनपादकराः स अस्ति पर्वरु छर्दनम ज्वराः लोह आम गंधि स्तिक्ताम्ल उद्गारश्च अस्य जायते. So these are the rupa of Grahani Gada or the symptoms of Grahani Gada. What will happen now? The pathophysiology we are discussing here, that from stomach that undigested food material is moved down, okay, and there it will produce these symptoms, okay, by making that particular organ or apparatus abnormal. So in this condition, the individual may pass stools in excessive quantity or frequency, wherein stools may be loose with thin consistency or the form of pellet-like stool or bound stool, that is the like Malavastamba, that is Vibandha. And the other symptoms without that Purishamala, these are morbid thirst, anorexia, distaste, that is no taste at all, excessive watering of mouth, blackout. So the anorexia is aruchi, and distaste is now the taste is feeling different. Suppose it is sweet, and instead of sweet, it will the person may feel it as a kashaya or that astringent. So excessive watering of mouth, blackout, that is stomach or thimira, edema of legs and hands, and pain in bones and fingers, joints. So the next severe symptoms are more now: vomiting, fever, erection, having either metallic smell, that is amagandhi, or instead of saying not amagandhi word is there, lohamagandhi. Okay, that means the metallic one. Smell or undigested food and having bitter or sour taste are observed. Now you may say how we can observe the metallic or loha gandha. Okay, so if you have traveled in specially red bus in Maharashtra, we call it lalpari. Okay, and the roads are not good, and you have hold it like this, no, the bar just front of your seat. Okay, and you have traveled so 1 or 2 hours like that. And after your journey, if you smell your hand, that typical smell in the ST bus is of lohagandha. Okay, so I have no other example how you can feel the metallic smell, so that's why I have explained. Undigested food and having bitter or sour taste are observed. Now these are the Purvarupa or premonitory symptoms of Grahani Gada. So thirst, malaise, diminution of strength, burning sensation, delay in digestion, and heaviness in the body. And many of us may have these symptoms sometimes, so we should address those symptoms. We should not take it lightly because it may lead to abnormality of the Grahani. Agni adhishthanam annasya grahanat grahani mataha. The printing mistake is there. Nabhe ruparya agni valena upastabdho upabrihita. The seat of Agni is Grahani, and Grahani is named as the receives food, Grahanat Grahani Mata. It is situated in between Amashay and Pakvashay. Now those Amashay and Pakvashay word as according to anatomy. It is the seat of Agni, and it is so called since it holds or retains the food for digestion and assimilation also. It holds the food just above the umbilical region, and it is supposed and supported and nourished by Agni. A dosha which is associated with Ama vitiates the Grahani, and that's why it releases the food in the form of Ama. Means the processing unit is abnormal, Grahani, and that's why it will not process or transform the food material as it is supposed to be, and that's why there is Grahani. So Grahani, with help of Agni, holds the undigested food and pushes forward the digested food. Okay, so here the simple words are here, that Grahani helps with the help of agni. Grahani is the apparatus, it is the organ, but the working entity there is the agni. Okay, so the agni holds the undigested food and pushes forward digested food. So this is a normal scenario. But when agni becomes weak and vitiated due to vidagdha ahara, murchita dosha, that is the improper murchita dosha, is nothing but the sama dosha, that is afflicted by improperly digested food, then the grahani gada will happen. Now again, previously we have seen premonitory signs, that is the purva rupa in general. Before that we have seen the signs and symptoms of grahani, they are also in general. Now these are the details. For differential diagnosis, Charakacharya has described the types according to the predominant abnormal dosha. Definitely the agni vikruti, that the abnormal digestive power, that is the mandagni, or here the word is used as a weak digestive power, is responsible for. Durbala agni is the proper term which is used by Charakacharya. Then it is classified into Vataja, Pittaja, Kaphaja and Sannipataja. On the basis of classification, the etiological factors, the symptoms, signs, those are described here. Now, you may see that the general signs and symptoms are there, which are very indicative of a particular disease. But for the management of that, the treatment plan, what we have to do, we have to observe it more carefully now, so that to make Vyavachedaka Nidana or differential diagnosis, the predominant doshas to know, it is described that the dosha wise symptoms, or which dosha is abnormal more. So it is for practical purpose. Now first, the causative factors of Vataja Grahani, first responsible excessive indulgence in diet, like katu, tikta and kashaya test, okay, which is dry in nature or having absorptive or emaciative qualities, that the particular body is described. The person who is dry in nature and having absorptive or emaciative qualities, that means very weak and thin person, okay, and having dry body, and if that person is consumed katu tikta kashaya predominant ahar, okay. So as well, cold, chilled or frozen items, eating quantitatively less amount of food, separation of natural urges and excessive sexual intercourse contribute to the aggravation of Vata dosha, which encompasses the agni, causing separation of agni, or which makes Durbala agni. Now see, you may say that the frozen food, how it is responsible for this Vataja Grahani, even though we have, I have seen a case with my wife. The lady traveled from Australia, okay, and she was suffering from Vataja Grahani disorder. Even though in Panchakarma Center in Pune, she was receiving fresh food or something, she was not used to consume it. It was so habitual with her. She is used to kept that food items, sometimes like roti, okay, and to in the freezer. And when it becomes like a ice, okay, and she is used to eat. So you may not feel that this is a consumption factor, how the frozen items are, be edible, but some people are having. And then we have treated it with the line of treatment of Ayurveda. Okay. So symptoms of Vataja Grahani. Food is not easily digested and gets fermented. Okay, so that will definitely, the person will have soreness or tikta, instead of tikta udgar, amla udgar, roughness of skin, dryness of throat and mouth, craving for food and thirst, that is increased. Then thimira, that is the blurred vision, and tinnitus, sound in the ears, continuous pain in the flanks, parshvashula, thighs, pelvis, neck region, and visuchika, which we have studied in vamana sthana. That is the piercing pain all over the body with vomiting and diarrhea. Okay, so Suchi Bhiriva Gatrani, that is the Pratyatma Lakshana of Visuchika. Okay, so chest pain or discomfort in cardiac region, emaciation, weakness, distate, cutting pain, craving for sweets, sour and saline food, that is the like Madhuradi Ras. So the person is craving for sweet, sour and saline taste. Now how this is happen? Body will naturally try to balance it because the sweet, sour and saline taste, that is the Madhura, Amla and Lavana Rasa, are balancing Vata, Tatradhyam Arutam Granthi. So that's why the natural that person will have desire. So if you will logically the basics of Ayurveda you have studied or gone through properly, then it will not be a problem to observe those clinical signs. So reduced mental strength, adhana, that is the distension of abdomen, occurring during digestion and after completion of digestion, whereas the patient feels abdominal comfort just after eating the food. Okay, so this is a typical sign. So at the time of digestion, there will be no adman. Okay, and after completion of digestion, the person feels comfort. Okay, so in which avasthapaka that symptom is there, that is also important. Okay, it will also give us the picture that which dosha is abnormal mainly. Now, patient expresses repeated doubts that he is suffering from Vatic disorders such as gulma, then heart disease, and splenomegaly. Now, the stools are evacuated with very difficulty, and it takes a long time, okay, to consume. Okay, next is that means evacuated with difficulty means sakashta malapravartan we can say, and will take a long time also, that the span in the toilet will be more. Now, feces are either watery, dry, small size associated with the flutters. Sometimes the frequency of the stool is increased and patient may suffer from cough and breathing difficulty. So these are the some other symptoms. So here is the Vataja Grahani. After that we will see Pittaja Grahani. So again the same scientific manner is maintained by the Charakacharya, that again the causative factors mainly are described by properties, because Ayurveda is for not only India but it's for whole world. Even though for India the food name and the food we can say pattern is different. That's why the property wise description is always there in Ayurved Samhitas. So katu, that is the spicy, ajirna, that is undigestible food material, then vidahi, that which called no vidaha, that is the we can say burning sensation, amla, that is the sour one, shara, and other food items which will aggravate pitta are the causes of pitta jagra. The aggravated pitta that hampers the function of agni, similar to the condition wherein hot water extinguishes fire. Okay, so here again the Omana Praman is given that the aggravated pitta hampers the function of agni. Next, now the symptoms. So symptoms of Pittaja Grahani are the stools have undigested food particles having either bluish yellowish tinge or yellow in color and are loose or water. So the patient or the suffering person is not aware that which dosha is dominant. So in the follow-up, we have to ask the patient in visit that please do observe those details. Okay, and then the person or the person who is suffering from disorder will be able to describe us the picture what exactly it is. Okay, so then the next is the erections have foul smell and sour taste. Now I'm talking about this Udgar. There is burning sensation in the cardiac region, that is the retrosternal part, and throat anorexia with thirst. Okay. So next to that, we'll see now Kaphaja Grahani. So heavy to digest or excessively anxious. Excessively anxious means too much snigdha ahar, ati snigdha. Frozen or chilled items or food having cold in nature. Those qualities are similar with the kapha. So excessive intake of food and sleeping just after the meals hamper the function of agni. And this we can see in almost in Indian pattern scenario, at least every woman housewife is following the same pattern. That after intake of food, she is supposed to do some works, household works. Immediately, due to actually exhausted work, she is used to take some rest. But we have to make the change in their lifestyle also. We can advise them that they are not supposed to lie on the bed, okay, or lie on the sofa. They are supposed to rest in the resting chair. Okay, so this will reduce their problem. So it will vitiate mainly the function of agni and kapha. So what will be the symptoms of Kaphaja Grahani? So it will be digestion with difficulty, nausea, vomiting, okay, as well the coated mouth and sweet taste, cough, then increased tendency to spit, then penis, that is the actually old rhinitis is called penis, but here it is for the thick mucus that from nasal discharge. Feeling of heaviness in the chest, feeling as if there no movement in the abdomen, that the food is just like the people are used to describe that something stone is lying in my stomach or abdomen. Heavy abdomen, erection with foul smelling and sweet taste. Okay. So the next one, patient does not feel enthusiastic, that means he feel laziness, and there is a separation of libido also. Okay, the stools are mixed with the undigested items and mucus. These are very heavy. Okay, although patient is not emaciated, still that person feels weakness and laziness. Okay, emaciated means we can say weak. Okay, in simple. So this emaciation is the word for kshaya. Now, yaschagni purvam uddisto rogani ke chaturvidha hatam chapi grahani dosham samarjam prachakshime. These four types of agni have been previously explained in the Roganika Viman. Except Samagni, the other three types of agni contribute the Grahani dosha. Okay, so in Roganika Viman also the agni description is there, types of agni. Now the fourth is the Sannipatika Grahani or Sannipataja Grahani. We know that Sannipata means the combination of all dosha, that is three dosha. Sannipata means all three doshas are abnormal. In such condition, etiological factors, symptoms, and signs are all three doshas. So it will be definitely we can say a difficult situation to treat the Sannipata Grahani. So it will have the mixed symptoms, sometimes Vata symptoms, sometimes Pitta symptoms, sometimes Kaphaja Grahani symptoms, like that. Okay, and that will be not easy task. Now here, specially, it is described here as a comparative table. At a glance, you can see and observe the Grahani dosha, Vataja Grahani dosha, Pittaja Grahani dosha, Kaphaja Grahani dosha, Sannipatika, Sangrahani, and the last one is nothing but you can see here, that is the Ghati Yantra. What it is called? The Ghati Yantra. Okay, so Ghati Yantra Grahani is the fourth one. Okay, so just we will overlook specific characters of Vata, flatulence after and during digestion. Pittaj will have otit and sour erection. That means Amlodgar or Shukta Udgar, like that. So the Kaphaja will have heaviness and stillness of abdomen. Sangrahani is a little bit tough situation and Ghati Yantra is the more toughest. Okay, so disease aggravates during daytime and pacifies in the night time. This is repeat once in 15 days, 30 days or days, 10 days gap and again in one day, like that. So this is the Sangrahani. Now Sangrahani and Ghati Yantra, those are not described by Charakacharya in Grahani Chikitsa, but they are described by the other classics. Okay, and Ghati Yantra, that it produces specially a sound of Ghati while passing the stool, like pouring water out of a pot, and that's why it is called as a Ghati Yantra. Okay, so in fourth year, while studying Chikitsa, you will have this Sangrahani and Ghati Yantra again. So generalized symptoms again are described, which we have already gone through. Just here the comparable table is given, so you can compare and you can memorize or you can differentiate properly. Again, abdominal symptoms are there and character of stools. So likewise, you have to say special characters, generalized symptoms, abdominal symptoms, and then character of stool. Okay, so and then you can differentiate which is Vataja, Pittaja or Kaphaja. Okay, so we'll go to the next now. Here, the treatment or the management part now starts. Okay. हॅलो, अरे माझं लेक्चर चालू आहे, मी थोड्या वेळाने करू बेटा? हो, थँक्यू. Sorry to disturb. Child should be, entertained first, and then because it may, he may ring again and again. When the doshas are located in Grahani and associated with incomplete digested food, then vistambha, that is the constipation, excessive salivation, body ache, burning sensation, anorexia, and heaviness is felt by patient, and which are the symptoms of Ama. Especially these all excessive salivation, etc. These are the Ama symptoms. In such a condition, that is, we can say kapha pradhana avastha, or predominant kapha vitiation is more, or Ama is there. In such a condition, woman with lukewarm water or decoction of madanapala, pippali, and sarshapa should be administered. Okay, so these are the things. See, even though woman yoga is given here, you don't have herbs, you can use plain lukewarm water also. And if you have herbs like madanapal, pippali, and sarshap, you can use it. Now Leena dosha. Now Leena dosha is a state of dosha. That is the actually Sama situation. If the Ama is in Pakvashaya, in, you can say, Anutklistan avastha, that is stuck, not ready to come out condition, then this Travana or increasing secretion with Deepana Dravya should be administered. And many times we do observe in clinical practice, we have observed in many patients that there is always a Leena dosha situation, because patient is used to come to Ayurveda as the last option. Okay, and that's why this is a very bad picture till now. In overall, we can say OPDs, there are always chronic cases, or for many years the patient is suffering and then he or she is used to come in Ayurveda clinic. Anyway, so in that situation we should start with this Travan, that is with Deepaniya Dravyas. If Ama gets absorbed along the Rasadhatu and it prevails throughout the body, then Langhana and Pacha should be advised. Okay, so in that situation, you are supposed to give not directly the food, but Aushadha Siddha Dravya or food you can give. Medicated food you have to give, like Panchamooladya Ghrita and Paya. You can say that you have to keep anashan or fasting or langhan, or you are supposed to eat only this kind of food, then you will be cure your problem. Like that, you have to give clear idea to the patient. Then and then only we can get the results. Otherwise, if we'll go on directly to the only medicines like Chitrakadya Gutika or something Shara you are going to use, which are prescribed later on, it is going to give you a limited results, not the complete results. Okay, so we'll go now. After cleansing of amashe, that is with vamana, liquid gruel of rice, that is the peya, fortified with panchakola, etc. drugs, that is the digestive or carminating. It should be, that is Deepan Pachandravya, I mean to say, should be administered. Light and easy to digest food along with Deepana drugs may be given. When says I don't have panchakola, even though simple like black pepper you can use. Then cumin seeds you can use, which are available in every kitchen of India. In patients with Vataja Grahani, after asserting that Ama is digested, medicated ghee starting with very minimum quantity prepared from Deepaniya Gana is administered. Now those are described in Charaka Samhita 4th chapter. After that, the Niroha Basti must be given. That you have given Vaman, then you have gone for that digestive medicated food items like gruel. Then you are supposed to give it by small dose the medicated ghee, which is described in Chikitsa Sthana 4th chapter, and then you should go for the Niroha Basti. So this is the management protocol, and you should go in that way only. Okay, then only you can get the 100% results. As stimulation of agni is observed, and still if the patient finds difficulty in passing the stool, urine or flutters, then that condition, now here the condition, if the stool, urine and flutters, that is the purisha, mutra and vata vega are not proper, then every 2 or 3 days you are supposed to give niruha basti after proper snehan and sweta. So this is very important. Next to that, virage. After niruha, if that strasta dosha, that is the dosha ready to come out, should be cleaned with the purgative drugs like erandathai. Now this one is this snigdha virachan erandathai, and that you are supposed to use. Or tilvaka ghrita, that is mixed with kshara. That kshara, it's the most popular kshara are the sajjik kshara and yavak kshara. So you can use this both. After that, anuvasan basti, which is the condition where we have supposed to give anuvasan basti. So the indications are after shodhana of intestine, that is the virechana. If rukshata and baddha, that is the pilek like stools are there, then the anuvasan basti, that is the sneha basti or taila basti, fortified with deepana drugs, mainly having sour taste. That is the amla dravya siddha oil you are used. Suppose like in simple chinsa lavantaila, okay, which is a very famous form, famous recipe of the Vaidyadatara Shastra. And vata elevating actions may be administered. So after appropriate administration of niruha, virechan and anuvasan, light diet should be taken daily and the ghee should be taken repeatedly. Okay, so here one is important that the intake of ghee is advised here. Definitely cow ghee, and if that ghee is medicated with the Deepan Pacha Dravyas, that will be the best things. So some ghees are advised here, medicated ghee. The first is Dashamooladya Ghrita. Now we are not going to see the each and every ingredient and the process, cook it. So we will see, just observe a few hints or few ingredients of it. Panchamoola, that is the Brihat and Lagu also, that is Dashamoola. Then Trivruta, then Devdaru, Nagar, Pippali, Pippali Moola, Chitra, Gaja Pippali, Sana Beach, etc. So those are the main ingredients. May be administered up to 1 prasrut. Now this is the dosage, that is 96 grams, means always 100 gram almost. It increases the agni, strength and complexion and helps in elevation of vata and thus digestion of food. So see friends, here one thing is important, that you are not giving one time 100 grams immediately. You can go with the rasi matra, that is 1 spoon only 5 grams. And if the person is able to digest, then you can increase. And you can use anupana like warm water. Next to that, Trishnaadya Grita. Mainly Trikatu, Triphala, Bilva and Jageri are the ingredients, and especially it is useful to ignite the digestive power. That is, in Mandagni, it is prescribed. So to increase the digestive power, it can be used. After that, Panchamooladya Ghrita and Panchamooladya Churna. Okay. The same ingredients can be used as a medicated ghee and can be used as a powder. Okay. So Panchamoola again, Abhaya, that is Haritaki, Trikatu, Pippalimool, Saindhav, Rasana, Sajikshar, Yavakshar, Ajaji, Vidanga, etc. And the medicated ghee is made with the Shukta. That means the organic acetic acid is there. Okay. So that can be used. So medicated ghee. So mainly Shukta is the Amla Dravya. And that Amla Dravya is prescribed to medicate the ghee. Okay. If the Shukta is not available, you can take it as an option Kanji. Okay. Even though Kanji is not available, you can use Chinsa. If well rooted or well we can say matured Chinsa, tamarind fruits you can use. Okay. Definitely without seeds. Now the medicated ghee, that is the digestion and which increase the strength of the agni and cures colic pain, gulma, udara, asthma, cough, pacifies mainly vata and kapha both. Now Taila Siddha with the above medicines are used for abhyanga. Then the churna can be also used, and it can be used with the lukewarm water. And the description of the how it can be used, that it will kapha and vata, that is the vata occluded by kapha, kapha vrita vata, sama kapha and vata aggravated due to kapha. So kapha gets the kapha does the obstruction, and that's why the vata is aggravated. Digestion and to stimulate agni. So this is the recipe of Panchamooladya Ghrita and Churna. Now mainly, what is the clinical sign? The feces examination, Purisha Mala Pariksha, will be the best tool to observe the progress of, we can say, improved patient or improved condition of the patient. So, Sama Mala sinks into the water due to Gurutva of Ama. Pakwa or Nirama Mala will float on the water, provided the stool's consistency is not watery or not very compact and not vitiated with Shita Guna and Kapha. So in that condition, you can go for this examination of feces, especially you can say whether it is Sama or Nirama, because this Samata and Niramata will guide us to plan the line of treatment. Patients should be evaluated for Ama dosha, whether Samata or Niramata is present or not. Then appropriately it can be treated. If the Samata is there, then you have to do Pachana treatment. If Niramata is there, you can go for specially medicated ghees. Now Pachan recipes are described here mainly. Chitrakadya Gutika, the most referred and prescribed recipe from Ayurveda in Grahani dosha or to improve the digestive power. So main ingredients are Chitra, Pippali Moola, Sajikshar Yavakshar, then some Lavana, that is the Samudra Lavana, Krikatu, Hingu, Ajamoda, Chavya. These are then processed with the Matulunga Swaras or Dadima Swaras, that is the Amla Dravya, but Pathyakar Amla Rasa, sour test. Okay, sour test which is prescribed to consume, and the tablets are prepared. This is mainly useful for digestion of Ama and stimulation of the Agni. So some more recipes are prescribed here for Pachana of Ama, that is the Shunthi, Ativisha, Musta, and the decoction of these dravyas can be taken for the Pachana of Ama, that is the Ama will be digested. Then the kalka or the paste of shunthi, ativisha, musta or haritaki or shunthi. Means you can take a yog as a together shunthi, ativisha, musta, or plain haritaki or plain shunthi you can take. Okay, along with warm water, it will perform the digestion of ama. So some more recipes are prescribed. We will not go in detail, and it is a long list. It is the speciality of Charaka that condition-wise he is used to give the recipes, and that's why it is called Charakastu Chikitsa. Next to that, now recipe of pitta-kapha Grahani. So first recipe is described here. Now this is the Dvidosha. Now in prescribing, or sorry, in mentioning or noting the symptoms, they have just seen 4 types of Grahani. But while describing the treatment, a Dvidoshaja Grahani is also described here, you can see. Okay, so the first is decoction of Haritaki, Pippali Mula, Vacha, Katukarohini, Patha, Touch seeds, Chitrak, Shunthi, okay, or not in the form of decoction, you can take in the form of churna also, that is a powder mixture of above contents with warm water. It is very helpful to reduce the colic pain, okay, especially in the pitta and kapha dominant grahani. Okay, now the second and the third recipes are prescribed. The second is that in ama condition, decoction of ativisha, trikatu, lavanakshara and hingu or powder with warm water. Third recipe is churna pippali, nagar, patha, sariva. Okay, brihati dvayam, that is the brihati and khantakari, chitra, utas seeds, types of 5 types of lavan, that is panchalavan, yavakshar, curd, hot water, different form of fermented liquids such as kanji, savvirak. Okay, so these kanji, savvirak are supposed to be taken as an anupana, okay, adjuvant to increase the property of a particular recipe or yoga. Okay, so this will help to eliminate the vata in the abdomen. So this is the third recipe. Now next is very simple marichadya churna. So again, it is the 2 forms of marichadya churna are described here. Okay, so the first is maricha kunchika ambastha, okay, vrikshamla, then amlavetas, savarchal, etc. And it is useful for the vata dominant grahani mainly, and to reduce the anorexia, that is the aruchi symptom. Second, the 4 amla drugs are used in the form of powder, trikatu, lavan, especially saindav, and sugar. Then together this mixture is used to make different vegetable preparation. So ahariya aushad is prescribed here, or it can be used to cook different soups. Okay, and this will help to cure the cough, indigestion, anorexia, dyspnea, heart disease, anemia, and pain in the abdomen. Which are the 5 types of yavagu here can be useful for all, because the agni mandya or Durbala agni is the main positive factors. So what kind of food is prescribed? So that are the option is the best yavagu. Okay, so the best of chavya, tvak, pippali, mula, dhataki, trikatu, chitrak, kapitha. So kapitha is very much effective. Even though kapitha in Marathi we call kavat, it is very useful. You can make a jam also, and for that patient, and very violet color natural jam can be prepared with the kapitha, we can say pulp, matured kapitha actually. Then bilva, patha, shalmali, gajapippali, shilajit, ajaji, and others. So they are roasted or fried it with the ghee and prepare the yavagu by adding curd or swaras of kapitha, or chukrika, or vrikshamla, or tadi. So chukrika, vrikshamla, swaras of kapitha is not available every time, but dadim is the best thing. Even though the dadim is not available, you can prescribe dadimavaleha also, especially in the colic kind of pain or digestive. So it will definitely acts as a Pachan and Deepan also, Dadi. So Dadim Swaras or Dadimavaleya is also the best one to prescribe. Curing all types of Atisara, Grahani, Gulma, Arsha, Pliha. So these Yavagus are very much famous for those diseases. Now beverage, that is the drinks. Which drinks can be used? So English words may disorient you, but here the medicated beverage we have to consider. So fortified soup with panchakola or soup of mulaka with marich, pinch of marich, medicated soup. If non-vegetarian people are there, we can prescribe, especially the animals meat soup which are living in arid area. Okay, so it is light for digestion, that's why. And a little ghee, dadin, takra, amla, this can be added as a taste. Okay, so these are the one kind of beverage one can have. Patient may give in buttermilk also. Aranala, that is the sour drink. Madhya, medicated alcohol. Okay, aswarishka form definitely. So the buttermilk is like a nectar for Grahani dosha. So takra here we have to describe about. So Deepan and Grahi properties mainly that buttermilk or takra is having. It is easy to digest and action is very useful in Grahani dosha. Okay, so Madhura in Vipaka it is, and that's why it reduces pitta. Kashaya, that is astringent in taste. Ushnavirya, Vikasi, Ruksha Guna it is having, and that's why it balances kapha. And the Madhura Rasa with Amla, the Sandra Guna is also there, which will balance Vata. Thus, the buttermilk is balancing all three doshas. And that buttermilk definitely should be prepared with the scientific process or the prescribed process of Ayurveda. That is the curd freshly churned, that the freshly word is used. Means we have to ferment the milk with a little portion of that curd for only 12 hours. Okay, not the more, because the amlata will be more otherwise, and it may lead to increased pitta also. That's why only 12 hours fermented curd we are supposed to take, and then with a proper quantity of water, at least 10 times, and it should be churned properly and without we can say cream it is supposed to be used. It is very useful in the treatment of arsha and udara also. Okay, so a recipe from takra, that is the buttermilk, is called takrarishka. See, if Grahani Chikitsa is there, Chitrakadya Gutika, Takra, Takrarishka, these must have Yavagu, this must be mentioned or prescribed. Then it is the Ayurveda treatment protocol. Otherwise, symptomatic protocol that the person is suffering from loose motions, you are giving Kutaj Ghanavati, or person is suffering from constipation, you will give Gandharva Haritaki. So this symptomatic treatment is not will be helpful to cure the problem completely. Okay. After that, we will go for the ingredients Yavani, Amalaki, Haritaki, Maricha, etc. Then it stimulates the digestive power and relieves Sotha, Gulma, Arsha, Krumi, Prameha, and Udara. But friends, please do test before prescribing, because Takrarishta doesn't have a very good test. Okay, so the person who has a good, we can say, strength or sahatva, for that only you can prescribe Takrarishta. Okay, so this was the management protocol, especially of Vataja Grahani, till we have described, and we have many more to discuss. So we will stop for here today, and in the next lecture we will go for the management of Pittaja Grahani and onwards. Okay, so thank you for today. If